Hey guys, welcome. I have a guest today who has what I would call truly a miraculous story to tell. So you're going to want to hear everything that he has to share. We're going to make it power packed. So welcome, Jonah. It's my pleasure to have you, sir. You have a story
Honored
that
to be here.
we hear about your experience with lumivitae's cell power molecular hydrogen water bottle. So the stage is yours. Go for it.
Awesome. Well, David, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to be here with you. So, yeah, guys, long story short, I'll tell you a little bit about my background. 3 years ago, I had a really intense spinal injury. In a very vulnerable moment during a massage, I experienced neck traction from the practitioner. Long story short, pulled too hard, slipped two vertebrae out of place, compressing my spinal column and causing extreme pain, to say the very least, partial paralysis, and neuropathy. That caused me to be mostly bedridden for the better part of 2 years. I was unable to turn my head in any direction. I had to completely keep it stiff. I had to relearn how to use my arms and my hands and my grip strength. It was a very humbling experience, again, to say the very least. Um, at that time, because I was physically incapable, essentially all of my income stopped. And it was a very devastating time in my life. And so since then, I had been learning how to. I might have to start over with that siren.
No, you're great.
No?
We can hear you. We can hear you. Keep going.
Okay, cool. So, long story short, that the past 3 years has been a very long, humbling, dark night of the soul. When you have
Absolutely.
everything stripped from your life, the inability to move, you really learn that everything in this life is truly a blessing, and it's our bodies, regardless of how healthy we feel, are something that we should give thanks for every day. So if you have the ability to turn your head in any direction, I invite you to give thanks now, because it truly is a miracle.
Everybody do it.
Because
No,
for
everybody
so
do it.
long, I've been unable, when I was able to get out of bed, if I had to cross the street, I couldn't just look to see if cars are coming. I had to turn my entire body. And I'm trying to keep that brief, but I want you guys to understand how powerful and challenging that was for me.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, so your income had stopped, your physical capabilities were limited. I mean, realistically, what were you looking at your future prospects being as far as like what were you going to do with your life or your work? I mean, when you
Yeah,
have
I'm,
limited,
I'm glad you asked, because at that time, this all happened right around like 2020 going into 2021. So when my income had stopped, I needed to find work, but where I was living, they didn't allow people applying for jobs without wearing a mask. And because I wear glasses, and because I believe in getting as much fresh oxygen as possible, I'm really into breath work, and I do Wim Hof breathing every morning. So to limit my oxygen intake and to fog my glasses from wearing a mask for 8 hours a day at any job that I might be able to get was just not possible. Um, so it furthered the financial decline for me. So I've been basically looking for, a financial opportunity. And to be completely honest, when I saw lumivitae come in my radar, I was thinking, oh, great, there's my money opportunity. Like, I'm happy to learn how to sell something that has benefit, as long as it's not something that I look for in any type of income opportunity, especially if there's a product. I want to make sure that it's creating, first and foremost, genuine good for people
Mhm.
without creating any harm. So I'm not going to promote something that's going to chop down an orangutan's home, for example. I'm not going to create something that's going to create pollution
Yeah,
in the ocean. If I'm going to be sharing something with my community, I need to be absolutely clear that it's going to uplift my community
sure.
and not be potential poison in the well.
Yep.
Like that's really important to me, because if anything, one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned since this experience, since uh, I like to use the term, since the paradigm shift of 2020, the things that became most apparent to me as my highest values are: number one, community, relationships, friendships, people who have your back when the world is going crazy, um, your health, because when mine was taken away, I realized, when the water runs dry, you realize how thirsty you are. Um, or when you lack hydrogen, you realize how good hydrogen is for you. And the third thing is that I wanted to make sure that the company and the product was led by people who I really felt that I could trust, that have integrity. In other words, they're going to be able to lead our ship, not just for a flash in the pan for the next few months or couple years, but for a very long time into the future. And to hear about some of the names backing this opportunity, Regan Hillier, Taryn Lee, Nuno Nina, and even some of the doctors and professionals who are standing behind this confidently in front of their communities, that gives me a lot of trust where I can be like, okay, I don't think that these people with their very well-established reputations are going to tarnish their reputation by sharing something that's not going to be around in the next 2 years. So that for
Yep.
me was what interested me in the first place. Before I had a chance to try it, I started hearing about people's testimonials. And to be quite honest, I thought they sounded ridiculous. And, I wear crystal mala beads, I hold crystals to help me feel grounded when I'm talking. I'm as hippie as it gets. I play didgeridoo on trees. Like, I'm really into music therapy and sound healing. But I'm also from Boston, and I'm like, you know, if I say 2 p.m., it means 1:58. Like,
Ah,
in other words, that's great that these frequencies in this bottle are helping your chakras and helping make you feel like your energy is, uh, I don't know, like your aura is healed. But for me, when I heard people sharing those testimonials, I'm kind of like, really, like, show
okay.
me the
Yeah.
science, show me what's
Yeah.
happening in your
So
body.
so you liked the backing, you liked you were interested, you had some skepticism, but how did you even get a bottle?
Well, that's another really good question. So,
You had no
because
income.
I had no income, I had to hit basically the bottom of the bottom. But I know a good opportunity when I see one. And I had been, ever since this experience happened to me 3 years ago, I've been praying for an opportunity. And really just getting into, like, God, if I could just have an opportunity to rise above and help people from my position, being unable to go to a regular job, then I would be so grateful and I would treat it with respect. But like I said, when I found this opportunity, I didn't have the money to get involved, but I saw what this could be. I had the belief myself, I had the inspiration, and I just felt confident that if I had the chance, I could really run with it. So I convinced a buddy to buy a bottle through my account. He was planning on moving in with me, so we were just gonna intend to use one bottle and share it between roommates. And until we both got to where we wanted to be financially, where I could buy my own. He ended up not moving in, and so we changed our agreement. Okay, he's gonna let me use it first and just have my whatever experience I can have with it. And my promise to him was that I would split my first month's income with him, uh, because I just really believe that if this helped me and these people are speaking the truth, which I now have proof that they have been, that this I would have no problem splitting half my income because it would be abundance for both of us. I'm a man of my word, and I think that maybe I was a little bit overly generous with that, but I was able to do that, and I'm very thankful for that opportunity because without him enabling me, I wouldn't be able to share that abundance with him. Now, with that said, I got the bottle, and before I had the bottle, there was a bit of shipping delay. I got involved during pre-launch, so it was about 6 weeks before I even got to receive it. So I had 6 weeks to learn about it. Yeah,
You got the
the
gold one,
beautiful
right?
gold right behind you. I got the
Mhm.
gold. Yeah, and I'm so glad because I wanted black. My friend convinced me. He's like, "No, bro, gold is where it's at." And
I
yeah,
have
I
both,
think I'm gonna
but
get the black one next.
I think the anthracite is super sexy. But continue with your story. You got the gold.
Anthracite is a way sexier way to say black. Yes.
Agreed.
So, uh, so I had heard other people's testimonials. Like I said, it kind of rolled my eyes, and I wanted more like substantial physical evidence that could be measured, even though I'm into energy and all that. Um, and so one of the stories that really moved me was Dr. Michelle Patrick. She had a spinal injury, and being somebody who had a spinal injury myself, I thought, man, if she can have that experience where her body got the hydrogen and was able to use the hydrogen to find homeostasis again. Maybe that can happen for me. And my honest thought was, maybe if I drink it every day for 6 months, something like that could happen for me. I was completely shocked by the fact that the results I got were literally overnight.
What results did you get?
Well, so I suffered a few traumatic brain injuries years ago, which led to extreme insomnia. So sleep has been hard to come by. I also was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in 2005, and that's a little background. I want to preface that by saying I'm not making any medical claims. I just want to give you guys an understanding of what I've
Yeah,
worked
your
with in my
experience.
body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as somebody who struggled with insomnia, the first day that I tried it, the first thing I noticed was a tingling sensation in my brain and in my stomach. And at first I thought, oh, this is the chakras people are talking about. And then I realized, actually, no, it wasn't. It wasn't the chakras. It's actually the physical organs of my brain and my gut were actually like tingling. And I kept it to myself because I didn't want to taint my roommate's experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say about 10 minutes later, I felt like this total serenity. Like I didn't even realize that I had been stressed for hours. I was, trying to read through the instruction manual while my friend was watching football, which I'm not so into personally, American football. But he had the game on. I'm like trying to read the instructions and focus. I had a drink of the bottle, and like 10 minutes later, I'm like, whoa, I've been so stressed all day, and now all of a sudden I'm calm. I didn't even realize it until I had that contrasting experience. So I thought that was cool. I felt like my nervous system had completely relaxed, went from fight or flight into parasympathetic mode. That was the first thing I noticed. Then I noticed that around dinner time, I couldn't eat more than half of my dinner. And by that, I mean I just got full faster. So I didn't feel unwell or anything, but as a nutrition nerd, I measure out every single, I know exactly how many grams of protein, fat, all that, calories, all that stuff. I'm really into the nutrition. And I couldn't even finish half of my dinner. And normally I have an after dinner snack and I didn't even have room for that either. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. I have heard that had happened for other people. Maybe it's because the hydrogen is so satiating and energizing. Maybe my cells don't need the ATP from food. I don't know. That's just what happened.
Mm-hmm.
That night, I slept for 8 hours uninterrupted for the first time in well over 15, probably 20 years. I don't remember the last time I slept for 8 hours uninterrupted. I'm very, very lucky if I sleep past 3 hours. Uh,
Wow.
and that's been a maddening experience if you're somebody who struggles with insomnia, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I slept 8 hours, woke up to relieve my bladder, went immediately back to sleep for another 3 hours, which that hasn't happened since at least high school, and I'm 40 years old.
Wow.
So, oh, and I forgot to mention, I've been taking prescription pain meds for years. I'm sorry, not pain meds, sleep medication is what I meant to say.
Okay.
Prescription sleep medication, really high amounts of it as well. And I was preparing myself for a fast, a water fast, because I knew, well, if I only have my friend's bottle for a limited amount of time, I want to try to get the best bang for my buck. Well, I didn't have any bucks. I wanted to get, the best experience of the hydrogen. I wanted to eliminate all potential variables. And so I was weaning myself off of my sleep medication because I was planning on entering a 3-day water fast. So that first night, I had my half dinner. I went to bed with no sleep medication and I slept for 11 hours, only waking up once after 8 hours. When I woke, that alone is profound. Without
Yeah.
sleep medication withdrawals is absolutely profound because I've tried to quit in the past with let's just say less than favorable results.
Okay.
When I woke up, I noticed that when I got out of bed, my neck didn't hurt, and I didn't have to I normally have to kind of brace my motion, and I was able to just go like this, no problem. And when I went to the restroom, if I look down, normally I can't, so I don't. And it's been 3 years of not being able to do that. and I was able to look down, no problem. I was kind of shocked. So I just started playing around, just, moving my neck. I'm like, what is going on? Like my arms aren't going numb. Normally I would have like shooting electric pain with complete neuropathy, which is like tingling in the nerves. Very unpleasant feeling, to say the least. Just completely not there. And I thought, this is insane. Like this has to be the placebo because there's no way this could do this in less than 24 hours. I thought I was maybe crazy. So I didn't tell anybody because I knew people would think I was crazy because I thought I was crazy. But continue on. I was planning on starting a fast that day. I honestly forgot out of habit and I went straight to my coffee and food in the morning. I was like, oh crap, I'm going to have to push my fast back. Um, and I pushed it back for, I think, 4 days. What I noticed for me was, as somebody with Crohn's disease, I have very sensitive digestion. And I noticed that I was, how do I put this politely? I was having an unpleasant experience of having to use the bathroom more than normal. So what I thought was actually a Crohn's disease flare up, where I had to go to the bathroom more, not in a comfortable way. And I thought, okay, well, maybe, I heard that hydrogen can create some detoxing effects. So I kind of was wanting to learn about that. Like, is that a potential possibility? So I started Googling it, and I learned, actually, Carrie Drinkwine taught me that hydrogen can help create peristalsis. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but peristalsis is basically, the flexing of your intestinal
Yeah,
lining.
paralysis. Yeah,
Am I saying that right? Thanks. So I thought, okay, that makes sense. If that's happening, it's probably getting rid of, all this gunk that I've had for years and years of being unwell. Um, but I was kind of annoyed by it because it wasn't a fun experience. But I just trusted. I got through it. And then on the fifth day, I noticed that that wasn't happening anymore. In fact, my digestion was phenomenal. And when I say phenomenal, I'm saying this as somebody who's been ill since 2005.
oh,
15 bowel movements a day was normal to me. Not fun by any means. It was nearly took my life at a few points over the past decade. Not me, but the illness.
yeah,
And to all of a sudden go from like really, pardon the pun, crappy digestion to amazing digestion. It for me, the experience was as if I went back in time to how good my digestion was before I got sick in 2005. Like, I'm not making any medical claims. All I know is that after drinking the water, I don't have those experiences anymore. I'm
yeah,
trying to be careful with my terminology. But again, I kept my mouth shut because I'm thinking, okay, it's inevitable. It's going to come back. This is a fluke. This is the placebo. So I didn't tell anybody. But it's been, I don't know, at least 6 weeks now. And I've had the best digestion since as far back as I can remember. And I'm ecstatic about it and
are
it sounds like a silly thing to get excited about, but
you
it's
kidding?
it's amazing.
Why would you say that? That's incredible. I mean, when you're plagued with a lack of sleep, you're plagued with years of restricted mobility and horrible digestion experience. Like, you know that things are wrong in your body and you clearly don't have a solution for them. When something comes your way that changes all of those, that's not crazy. That's something to
Yeah.
shout from the hilltops.
Well, I think I want to be mindful of people who are like me, who are skeptical.
Sure.
I did have one friend say, "Oh, congratulations on the placebo, bro." And I'm like, man, if it's the placebo, let me tell everybody because this is the best placebo that I've found so far.
Right.
But what I'm experiencing is that so many other people are having like really amazing experiences.
Yeah.
And I'm
I mean,
thinking,
if they were a placebo, why did all of the other things that you've been trying to help your body with over those many years, why did none of those
well
produce
said.
the same result?
I didn't think of it that way. That's actually a really, really great point. And also, why are there so many studies, like thousands of studies? And why do people call it the miracle molecule?
Yeah.
You know, I learned recently, and I'm not a biologist by any means. I really love Googling why are things happening in my body? Why don't doctors know You know, from what I learned, most doctors don't even take a full day in nutrition studies. So why would they be able to help this issue without pharmaceuticals or surgery? And when I learned one of the roles of hydrogen is literally to create ATP, and I'm sure, and there might be people out there listening who can correct me on how I'm phrasing it, but I watched this video that was explaining how the body creates ATP, but there's like one little building block missing at the very end of the factory line, and hydrogen comes in and fills in that last building block, and then poof, you've got ATP. And one person described it as it's literally a free energy creating substance. And I don't know if that's true, but it helped me understand like how this works and how people are starting to have all this energy,
Yeah. Way I've
feel
heard
like
it
they're
said is it
reversing
helps
the aging.
upregulate the mitochondria of the cell. And so the mitochondria is the power plant of the cell. So every cell's energy output is going to be improved. So whether it be a nerve cell, a muscle cell, a brain cell, a bone, like whatever, every cell is going to benefit because hydrogen helps all of those various types of cells do their respective jobs more effectively with greater energetic output. So it makes sense that because hydrogen can go everywhere, that you would experience such varied results, all from simply it going in and helping all of those various systems effectively run their cells, which means they do their job better, which means your experiences improve universally across the board.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because it helps me to understand, oh, that's why I think this placebo is so profound. Like it, when you actually take the time to learn what it can do, it starts to make more sense. And then you want to just get more of it in your body. And for me, I just want to share it with everybody that I know.
Yep.
And I know, I have like Facebook friends like, all right, great, you're selling another product. It's like, no, I don't care if you buy it. I just want you, please just experience it. And how, if you don't feel like you love it, just get your money back.
Yep.
I mean, that's how confident the company is they're offering a money back guarantee in a pre-launch phase. I've never seen a company do that before, let alone a refund within the first year of a company launching. So that says a lot to, the confidence of what is being shared here.
Sure. And now that you've got it, as you continue to use it, there's no telling what else you'll experience. I mean, those were clearly things that your body initially needed to remedy. And the brilliance of molecular hydrogen is that it goes wherever it is needed. So the weak points of your physiology were all of those things you'd identified. And it said, okay, let's work on, improving those. But as you
Yeah.
stay drinking that all the time, your body's just going to continue to operate more efficiently, more effectively. And maybe some of these prolonged deeper things that maybe you've endured might still improve. How long have you had your bottle now?
I'd say just over 6 weeks.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
experienced that change, that transformation, how soon after you started?
Well, the experience of freedom and mobility and being pain free in my neck was less than 24 hours,
Yeah, that's
which
amazing.
is crazy. And then the digestive comfort and what I'm calling amazing digestion, like I'm so happy about, was on the fifth day. And both of those have remained improved since. Like I haven't had any pain come back. I haven't had any. Well, actually, that's not true. I did have one day of digestive upset, and that was when I had coffee and ice cream, which, okay, I'm not quite ready for all that yet. But, if that can happen that early on, going back to my original thought, which was hopefully I'll get a beneficial experience in 6 months, I now wonder, well, what will it feel like in my
Right.
body in 6 months?
And the beautiful
I
thing, I
mean,
mean, if we start to experience how great our bodies can feel, I mean, all your recent, ice cream, coffee experience just makes me think when we get to treating our body really well and we see our body function really well and feel really good, then when we reintroduce things that have a negative impact, a cost to our body systems, we're that much more aware of it. So I just think that that's what that was. You're
yes,
like, your body's like, this is what this is actually doing to us. You're like, okay. But when you're in pain all the time, or when your digestion's crap all the time, you can't really attribute any of that to any one thing. But as your body
exactly.
normalizes feeling good, then you now can identify, oh, this is not actually helping me. This is actually something that's not feeling good. So you're going to
Yeah.
adjust your relationship with those things.
I like you how you mentioned like the body awareness too, because something that really improved my awareness was when the company did the live blood analysis, where if you haven't seen it, somebody's drinking out of the bottle. I think they drink three, what I would call doses or servings. 9 minutes later, they're showing through live blood microscopy um, results that would normally take a person 3 months through a very strict diet and lifestyle change. They're getting 3 months worth of results in 9 months of drinking water. And when I saw that, not just once, but twice with my own eyes, what it's actually doing to the blood and how it's clearing debris from the blood, allowing the blood cells to essentially rehydrate and reinvigorate and
Yep.
become nice and plump and full. All of the clutter and crap that's in our blood then gets pushed into the lymphatic system. And when I learned that, I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like what I'm experiencing is just my body working more efficiently now that it has the fuel to help it do so.
Yep. Agreed. So now what do your prospects look like for outlook? I mean, you have full functionality back to your body. You've got better energy, more stable digestion, better sleep. Good grief. I could not imagine going that many years with horrible sleep.
Don't
Um,
recommend it.
yeah, thanks. I won't subscribe to that one. What now are you looking at for your future? I mean, what new possibilities do you see that you didn't see before?
Well, for me, having been through what I call like a 3 year dark night of the soul,
Mhm.
um, and ironically, lumivitae means light of life. I personally feel like I got to the light at the end of the tunnel. Like I always knew it was there,
Yep.
but um, I literally said, I'm not a religious person. I'm deeply spiritual. I'm not religious, but I said a very, very intentful prayer the night before I found lumivitae. I'm not exaggerating. It was
Yep.
like, I call it my Jerry Maguire moment where I stepped out on the balcony. I looked up at the moon. I believe it was actually the lunar eclipse that day. And I just said, God, show me. Like,
Yeah.
show me the money. I'm ready. Like, I'm here to help people. And, but I can't help people like this. I mean, not as many as I want to.
Yep.
Didn't think much of it. It was just like, it was a moment with God. And
Yeah.
then the next day, I saw my friend Kirsten sharing it to her Instagram story. And I just immediately knew whatever she's on, I want it. That's the
Yep.
answer. And I know to listen to my intuition when an answer comes. I know to take massive action right away. So now my prospects look. I don't consider them prospects so much as like are people looking for an opportunity either physically or financially, and I know they are because I was one of them. My prayer every morning when I wake up is show me who I can be of service to today. Show me who is literally asking for an opportunity that I may be able to serve with my words or, you know, by them seeing what this can do for them.
Yep.
And I just want people to experience it for themselves. So for me, what it looks like, my hope for the future has returned. Like I thought things looked very bleak, and now I feel like I'm pretty confident that the best part of my life is sincerely, it has begun.
Yep.
And just with the timing of being in pre-launch, and we're about to have our official launch in June, all of these learnings and sessions and meetings with the company and with the field has been online. I'm so excited to get in person and see everybody and meet everybody and hug each other and be like, wow, your story helped me. That's great because your story helped me. And um, I really truly just want to uplift community. And I haven't I haven't found another opportunity that can do that in such a quick, profound way that I personally believe is not a flash in the pan,
Yeah.
but it's here to
I
stay.
mean, your story is compelling. Your story is truly one of many, but it's truly miraculous. I mean, I think when you can go from that existence to a truly overnight change, that's something that more people need to hear about because many people are plagued with things and they feel hopeless, they feel lost, they feel um, Yeah, I mean, hopelessness is pretty pervasive when you're living with systemic plaguing issues like that in your body. And just with the simplicity of drinking water that has been hydrogenated in this particular bottle, which is unlike anything in the world and anything else on the market. I mean, your experience needs to be shared, which is why I'm so glad that you came on. I think
Yeah.
you're gracious, you're kind, you have a generous heart, and you're one of the many kinds of people who are drawn here. So you're right, the community is amazing. The stories are growing by the day. We know what the research says. We know it's peer reviewed, studied by science. It's not, you know, woo woo placebo. It has been researched, but it's incredible to begin to see this change lives, because I think that's why most of us are here, is to see lives changed. Yes, we want to see our income grow because freedom is the foundation, freedom of body, freedom of bank account, freedom in life. But when your bank account's huge and your health is terrible, that's not freedom. So when you can have both, which is the goal, that's really the heart and mission behind the company, light of life, elevating the light in the world. Um, when you get free, that's light, that's light living, right?
Amen.
So
Amen.
I'm grateful that you're here. Thank you for taking the time. We're going to share this far and wide, and we look forward to any other miraculous wows that take place in your body and in our community. So,
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much,
Jonah.
David.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
very much. Oh, wait. Yeah, of course. Come back.
I just wanted to share for anybody who's listening who might have high expectations and maybe they don't have, quite the same exact result that I did. Please be patient with yourself. Um, I I think I had a very unique experience, and there's definitely a lot of people that have a very rapid experience. But if you don't have a rapid experience, please don't get discouraged. Please know that because of the extreme bioavailability of molecular hydrogen, it's definitely doing something in your body. There's absolutely no question.
And not
So
just
it
any
need
molecular hydrogen either. It's, the bioavailability is the unique genius of Nuno in designing this bottle the way that he did. And then the frequencies in the lid informing the water. So your body's getting the benefits of that as well. And he has managed to create a bottle that doesn't change the pH. So I've also had my digestion improve, much like you. And for a lot of us, our digestion has been compromised because of our obsession culturally with this myth about alkaline water. And because he works at a clinic where he's treating terminally ill patients, he knows that alkaline water is detrimental to their body. So he insisted on creating the only one in the world that we know of that doesn't change the pH of the water. So you put in a pH that's beneficial to your digestive tract, and it's going to come out not only with that same pH, but it's going to come out with the miracle molecule, molecular hydrogen, that then your body can put to use. So it's not just any molecular hydrogen out there. There's a reason that his genius and his creation is having these effects.
Yeah, it's all making sense. But if you are somebody who's, feeling impatient about results, just please be patient. Keep drinking the water. It's definitely doing something. It just may be working behind the scenes, So be aware, be observant. The benefits will reveal themselves.
Well, it's always working behind the scenes. It's never not being utilized. Your body's too smart to not put to use that which is truly useful to the body. So whether it be your quality of sleep or more energy or better workouts or recovery, like there are myriad things that the body benefits from by drinking it. So you're right. If you weren't somebody plagued with something life altering, um, there still are tremendous things for you. And one of the things that you can't see is that it protects your RNA DNA telomeres, which has to do with aging, which has to do with decay in your body. So it's also helping prevent things that would normally set into our bodies. By having this present, we're going to experience less of those things. So, where I was at a conference recently, I didn't even pay attention to this at all. But three of my closest of close, well, myself and two others, were surrounded by people who, when the conference was over, all left sick. Speakers left sick, volunteers left sick, our friends left sick. And I went about my job. I was traveling, da da da. My friend said, "Man, all of these people are sick." And I said, "Really?" She listed off people who had never been sick in like 10 years. One
Wow.
in particular, And the only three of us, of all of the people that we knew who attended that didn't get sick, were the three of us who'd been drinking from our Cell Power bottle all weekend. And we weren't thinking, oh, we're doing this to protect ourselves. We were just drinking it because we knew what it was doing in our bodies. We believed in it. We had it. It's become our only source of water drinking. But to have tracked back through all of our community and realize, wow, this was protecting us, and we didn't even expect or know that it was going to do that. There are a lot of things that it's doing in the body. So yes, to your point, if there is somebody who isn't experiencing some life-altering, debilitating existence, there are so many other things that hydrogen can and does do in the body that are truly incredible that you'll still discover. So like, I don't plan on aging. I mean, I wash my face in it, like we're stopping the telomere decay in my DNA, RNA, and thank you very much. And I'll see you in 40 years,
Oh man, I love
we'll
it.
do a before and after. So anyway, I think for today, we'll leave it there. We've got incredible stories from many other people. Jonah, thank you again for being here. Everybody, if you found this story and somebody shared it with you, go back to that person and they can help you get one of these Cell Power lumivitae molecular hydrogen water bottles in your life in the anthracite gray or the gold. As Jonah mentioned, our company is going into launch this summer. We are in pre-launch now and are shipping to countries all around the world. This is an investment. I've said this for years. Everybody invests in their health. You either invest on the front end to keep it or you invest on the back end to regain it. But nobody escapes investing in their health. So join us on this hydrogen revolution. Join us in lighting up the world, in freeing the world, both in health and in wealth. Hopefully this encouraged you. And we look forward to having you as part of the Lumivitae family.